Welcome. Today we will be making friends with Bakasana, crow or crane pose. And I know that some of us love playing with little arm balances, and others of us might have just a little aversion to arm balances. But the practice today is really just an invitation to meet the challenge as an integral part of the journey. Not forcing or pushing, meeting the challenge with playfulness, and as an opportunity to learn, to grow, to be stronger, to be more empowered perhaps. And this has been a while since I've taught arm balances, so that will be fun too. So we'll get started laying on our backs to begin with. So let's come on back and have the knees bent, soles of feet on the mat. And you might just let the hands rest on the body, or if you prefer, they can just float down alongside you. And we'll soften the gaze, or if it's comfortable, close the eyes. And take a deep breath or two, just as a helpful way to transition onto the mat, into the practice. Arriving moment by moment a little more fully into the body, as you perhaps notice the parts of the body connected to the mat, the surface beneath you. Noticing sensations or what's present in the body. Perhaps even just taking a moment to offer yourself a sweet inner smile, the sense of warmth that a smile can bring, offering that to your body-mind instrument. And beautiful is when you're ready, if the eyes are closed, gently blink them open. And then just take your time to lift the hands and reach the palms facing upwards to the ceiling, almost like you're pressing the ceiling or the sky or the clouds above, up and away. Reaching through the palms of the hands and spread the fingers gently here. When you're ready, we'll lift the head, the neck, and the shoulders up away off the mat too, and just start to feel the upper body curling up off the mat. And then we'll pick up the feet and separate the knees and bring the inner knees to the outer upper arms as best you can. Feeling that. And then bring the inseams of the feet to meet one another. So the insides of the feet are touching, base of big toe, inner heels, inner knees are meeting upper arms, and head, neck, and shoulders curling up off the mat. Take one more in-breath. And then on the exhale, let's release. Head, neck, and shoulders down, soles of feet to mat. Hands might rest now on the belly, and just allow the belly to soften once again. And know that you have already practiced Bakasana. You've already practiced your first crow pose, your first little arm balance lying down, and that required quite a lot of strength, actually, awakening the strength of the front of your core. And then when you're ready, let's play with that again. So you just really get the feeling of this shape. Palms reaching upwards towards the ceiling, arms straight. Lift the head, the neck, and the shoulders, and feel that curling through the upper back. Pick up the feet, separate the knees and slide the knees to the outer upper arms, and then bring the inseams of the feet to meet. So soles of feet are not meeting, it's the inseams of the feet that are meeting. And see if you can give a little squeeze of the knees onto the upper arms this time. One more breath. And then let's let go and relax again. Allow everything to soften, knees bent, soles of feet to mat, hands to the body, hands to the belly, and just take a full breath. Let the belly receive the breath. So you're really taking this opportunity to release, relinquish, relax here. And a long, easy exhale. And then we'll pick up the feet, hug the knees into the chest a moment, a little rock side to side. And your choice, beautiful ones, you might roll to a side and press yourself up. Or maybe you bring the hands behind the thighs and rock up and down a few times to come all the way up. And we'll make our way into our first downward facing dog. And as we come into downward dog, just get settled for a moment. So make any little movements that feel good for you. This is still a complete practice, a complete asana practice. So enjoying the downward dog. And today in your downward dog, spread the fingers and gently grip the mat with the fingertips. So feeling the fingertips gripping the mat. And that's a really useful way to practice Bakasana because our fingertips can act like little brakes, stopping us from falling forward. So sensing into that, feeling the texture of your mat beneath your fingertips. And then when you're ready, let's rock forward, plank pose, and we'll pause here and really press the mat away with the hands. And feel the shoulder blades broadening apart on the upper back. So there's actually quite an exaggeration of a little bit of a doming in the upper back. So feeling that, feeling the broadness and the slight doming of the space between the shoulder blades. Take another in-breath. And on the exhale, we'll lower the knees to the mat. Keep the fingertips gently gripping the mat. Let's just take a nice sweet little cow pose just for fun. Lift the tail, drape the belly, draw the chest forward. Enjoy this little back bend. And on the exhale, let's round into cat pose and pause here, breathe. And as you continue to press the mat away with the hands, feeling the shape of the spine and the upper back, that rounding and doming in the upper back again. Really getting a sense for that. It's this shape that we create when we do float into Bakasana, crow pose. And then we'll inhale and come to neutral spine. And exhale, tuck the toes, let's lift the hips up and back again. Downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths here. If you prefer child's pose today, at any point take sweet child's pose. One more breath. On your next in-breath, let's raise the right leg up behind us, three-legged dog. And on the out-breath, rock forward to a one-legged plank, right leg hovering, and then bend the right knee and draw the right knee as much as you reasonably can today to the outer upper right arm, which is where the knee will be in crow pose. And then inhale, press into the hands, lift the hips, reach the right leg up and back. And this time, lift the leg high, turn the right hip over the left hip, bend the knee. Take a little twist here. One more in-breath. And on the out-breath, let's step forward into crescent lunge. Right foot stepping through between the hands. And we'll come on up and reach the arms up. And as we reach the arms today, let's turn the palms forward, spread the fingers, and we'll just start to clench or create fists with the hands, and then release the fingers. And just repeat this a few times, almost like you're flicking water off the fingertips. Just warming up the wrists, the forearms. Take another in-breath. And on the exhale, let's release hands to heart, Anjali Mudra. Breathe in here. And let's exhale, twist. Turn to the right, left elbow to right knee. And if this feels a little much for you or a little early for this in the practice today, then maybe you bring left hand to the floor and reach the right arm to the sky instead. One more full breath in. And exhale, hands to mat. Step back, downward facing dog. Okay, second side, left leg floats up into three-legged dog. Rock forward, one-legged plank. Bend the left knee towards or all the way to outer upper left arm. See if you can keep lifting that left heel up away from the mat. Then press into the hands, lift the hips, and we'll take that lovely twisted three-legged dog again. Bend the knee, let the heel fall. Enjoy the twist. Breathing in. And exhale, left foot steps forward. Crescent lunge. And we'll reach up through the arms. Same again, spread the fingers. Flick the fingers open and closed like little eyelashes or like you're flicking water off your fingertips. One more in-breath. And on the out-breath, hands to prayer again. Breathe in. And exhale, we'll twist. This time turning to the left. Right elbow to left knee. Palms pressing into one another. Or right hand to the mat, left arm reaching up overhead. Enjoying one more in-breath. Whoop. And on the out-breath, let's release. Hands to mat and step back, down dog. Yogi's choice from here. Lift the heels, bend the knees, exhale, walk, step or hop the feet forward to the hands, and we arrive together in Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Okay, so let's take the opportunity to play with another little variation of crow pose. So we'll bend the knees, sit the hips down into a squat, and let's rock back and sit on the sit bones. Lift the feet, keep the knees bent today, and reach the arms forward into Navasana. If this is feeling a little intense for you today, then you might just keep the toe tips on the mat or hold the backs of the thighs. So we've already done Bakasana laying on our backs. Let's do Bakasana sitting. So opening the knees or separating the knees out to the sides of the mat. Keep the inner feet towards one another. Reach the arms through inside the legs. Palms reaching forward, fingertips to sky. And we can squeeze the knees onto the outer upper arms again. And it's okay if your knees are a little bit further down towards the elbows. Just seeing how high they can come up to the outer upper arm and then squeezing them in. And there we are. We're in Bakasana seated today. So having a feeling for this shape, feeling the roundedness of the spine, the hugging in of the inner knees to the outer upper arms, the pressing of the imaginary mat away from you with the hands. And then let's release, and we can just play from here. So you might bring hands to backs of thighs and rock back and forward a few times, or you might just choose to bring the hands behind you and rock back forward onto the feet. So your choice, and we'll meet eventually back in Uttanasana, folding over the legs, feet hip width distance. Here we go, bend the knees, hips back and down, and reach the arms, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold again. We'll keep going, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands to the mat. Pick up the right foot steps back, crescent lunge again. Inhale, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands to the mat and step back, downward facing dog. This time in down dog, let's step our feet in a little closer together, so feet are together, and just sweetly walk the hands all the way back to the feet at the back of the mat. Keeping your feet together, let's bend the knees and lift the heels away from the mat so you come into a lovely little squat. Now, let us separate the knees, keep the inner feet together, and instead of having the hands on the floor, let's play a little. So we lift the hands away from the mat, reach the arms forward, let your spine round, and squeeze your knees in towards your upper arms. So the back and outside of the upper arm are pressing into the front of the knee or the front of the shin on either side. And feel the flexion, feel the rounding of the spine here. You might even let yourself just drop your head and play a little bit with that sense of rounding. And if you lose your balance or fall backwards onto your bottom, that's fine. You've got a nice little cushion of your glutes there. Or if you fall forwards, your hands will stop you, right? So just sensing into this shape of crow pose. Arms pressing back into the knees, knees pressing into the arms, hands lifted off the mat, and rounding through the spine. And then when it's enough, bring the hands to the mat, lift the hips, separate the feet hip width distance, and walk the hands forward into your downward facing dog. Take an in breath, raise the right leg up behind you, three-legged dog. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, hands to the mat and step forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, bend the knees, hips back and down, reach the arms. Exhale, let's fold forward again. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, left foot steps back, crescent lunge. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, hands to the mat, step back, downward facing dog. Once again, step the feet in together. Walk the hands gently back to the feet. Lift the heels, bend the knees, come down into your sweet little squat. Okay, this time again, knees separating. So we're doing lots of repetitions. So when we actually play with floating into Bakasana, the body has the blueprint and it's in the memory of the body, if you like. So this time, knees separating, inner feet in toward one another, heels lifted, and one arm at a time, pressing the outer upper arm back into the front of the knee. Hand on the mat. And then second side, other arm pressing that upper arm back into the front of the knee or the shin. Hands on the mat. Okay, let's play with a little rock forward and back a few times. It's okay if the hips are a little lifted, so you might just lift the hips a little, and instead of feeling like you've got to pick up and fly away, all you need to do is hug the elbows in a little, bend the elbows, and rock forward. So you get that motion of rocking to the tiptoes and back onto the balls of the feet. Let's do that a couple of times, just at your own pace, rocking forward and back. And you might experiment with the gripping of the mat with your fingertips now, so you can feel how gripping the mat with the fingertips acts like little brakes. Let's do one more. And the next time you rock back, let's release. Lift the hips, feet hip width distance, and walk the hands all the way back out to down dog. Take an in breath, left leg floats up. Exhale, left foot steps forward. Inhale, reach the arms up again. Exhale, hands down and step forward. Halfway lift on the in-breath. Fold again on the out-breath. Bend the knees, hips back and down. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold. Pick up the right foot, step the right foot back. Crescent lunge. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, hands to the mat. Step back. Downward dog. Again, feet come together. Hands walk back to the feet. So there's lots of repetition because often with arm balances and in yoga classes we do them just once and we don't have the opportunity to meet it again and play with it and grow with it. So again, feet together, bend the knees, come into the squat. If at any point it's feeling like too much, come and take either the reclining variation that you did at the beginning or the seated variation that you did too. Heels lifting, knees separating, right? One arm pressing back into the front of the knee, other arm pressing back into the front of the knee, hands to the mat. Grip the mat a little with the fingertips. Right? Squeeze the legs in towards the upper arm, in towards the side body. Allow that rounding of the upper back. And when you're ready, it's a shifting forward rather than a lifting up. So elbows are bent, elbows hug in, shift forward. And then you might stay here. And maybe you pick up one foot and put it down. Picking up the other toe tip, putting it down. Let's do one more to each side. One foot lifting off and down. And the other toe tips lifting off and down. And then hips back. Uttanasana, fold forward, feet separating, hip width distance. Walk forward to down dog. And inhale, right leg lifts up, three-legged dog. Exhale, right foot steps forward. Crescent lunge again. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the mat, step forward, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees, Utkatasana, hips back and down, reach the arms. Inhaling, exhaling to fold. Inhale, halfway again. Exhale, left foot steps back. This is the last time today. Reach the arms up, inhale. Exhale, hands to mat and step back. Downward facing dog. Step the feet in together. Walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees, lift the heels into your squat again. I'm just going to hop a little further forward, but you stay at the back of the mat. And then we do exactly the same. Knees separate. One arm, let's say the right arm, press the upper arm back into the front of the knee, front of the shin. Squeeze the knee into the arm, hand on the mat. Left arm, same. Arm presses back into the knee, the shin, hand to the mat. And elbows gently hugging in. There's a little shift of the weight forward. So it's not so much needing to lift up and fly up away. It's all about shifting the weight forward. And then you might do the same. One toe lifts, other toe lifts. And if the feet feel really light today, maybe both feet lift. Inner feet squeezing in toward one another. Heels lifting towards the sit bones. And then you might float back again. So you can play with that one more time. Maybe today it's simply a rocking forward to the toe tips and back to the balls of the feet. Maybe it's playing with lifting alternate feet. Or if the feet are feeling really light today, it might be playing with lifting both feet up. If you're really comfortable here, you might practice pressing the floor away and straightening the arms. That's not for me today, but that might be for you. And when you've had enough, rock back, lift the hips, step the feet hip width distance, and we'll meet back. Downward facing dog. Left leg rises up. Inhale. And exhale, left foot steps forward. Reach the arms, breathe in. Exhale, hands down and step forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Bend the knees, hips back and down. Reach the arms, Utkatasana. And this time we'll do Utkatasana all the way to sit. Yes, good. Hands behind you. You might shift a little further back on the mat so you can stretch your beautiful legs out in front of you. Feel free to sit the hips up onto a folded blanket if it's difficult to have a sense of sitting tall here. Bend the right knee, sole of right foot to mat. Step the right foot outside the left knee. Let's open the arms today like a sweet little aeroplane, or maybe like the beautiful black crow that you played with earlier, the wings of a crow. And then lifting tall, using just your rotational center. Let's turn to the right, turning towards the bent knee. And see how the rotational center takes you into the twist. And then we just release the arms and use the arms to support us in the twist today. Gazing back over the right shoulder. And notice how it feels to have played a little bit with balancing on the hands, meeting the challenge of that. Perhaps facing the fear of falling or failing. Noticing what's present for you. And let's release. Step the right foot back across and stretch the leg out. And we'll go second side. Left knee bends. Sole of left foot steps outside the right knee. Sit tall and reach the arms wide. And let's turn to the left. Arms reaching wide. Growing upwards. And then just release the right arm to hug the left knee and the left hand to settle onto the floor, supporting you in this seated twist, unwinding a little. One more in breath. And exhale, let's let that go. Come back to center, release the right, or the left leg rather, next to the right leg. Shift the weight a little bit forward. Let's bend the knees, soles of feet to mat, reach the arms forward, and we'll slowly roll all the way down onto our backs. When you arrive, wiggle the feet a little wider, maybe as wide as the mat, and you might reach the arms up overhead or let the arms off, open softly to the side, and we'll just windshield wipe the knees side to side. Sweet little loose, open twist that keeps the front body pretty long and open. Pausing on one side for a breath or two. And lifting the knees and dropping them over to the other side and pausing there for a breath or two. We'll gently draw the knees to center. And you might keep the feet wide and just allow the knees to knock towards one another, constructive rest. Or you might reach the legs out away from you for Shavasana. Arms could stay where they are if you like, or they might float down alongside the body or onto the body. Taking a lovely, luxurious inhale, however that will be for you. And an easy, full exhale. And even if it's just a few moments, allowing yourself to melt a little into stillness and quiet. Offering yourself this precious gift of non-doing. Noticing how it feels to be here now. Thank you so much, beautiful ones, for sharing your practice. I hope you enjoyed the playful challenge today. May we be happy and free. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.